Lesson 2.3, Stage 2, Disillusionment and Facing Realities. What is the disillusionment stage? Welcome to the disillusionment stage, where the honeymoon phase fades and reality starts to set in. It's the point where couples begin to shift from the everything is perfect mindset to a more realistic view of each other and the relationship. Gone are the days of idealizing your partner. They've got flaws, quirks, and maybe a few habits that are starting to drive you a little nuts. But hey, don't freak out. This stage is totally normal, and even though it might feel disappointing, it's an important part of building something deeper and more genuine. You're no longer living in the fantasy land of perfection. You're seeing the real deal now. Key characteristics of the disillusionment stage. Increased conflict. The small stuff you ignored before? Yeah, now it's starting to bother you. You might find yourselves disagreeing more often or getting frustrated over little things. Recognizing flaws. The rose-colored glasses come off, and you start seeing your partner's imperfections. What was once adorable might now feel a bit irritating. Power struggles. There's a bit of a tug of war going on as each of you asserts your independence. This can lead to some tension as you try to figure out how to balance your individuality with your relationship. Disappointment. You might feel a little let down that the relationship isn't matching up with the fairy tale version you had in your head. Cue the questioning. Is this really going to last? The purpose of disillusionment. As uncomfortable as it might feel, disillusionment is actually doing you a favor. It's the stage where you move past the butterflies and get into the real stuff, building a relationship based on reality, not fantasy. It forces you to drop those sky-high expectations and start accepting each other, flaws and all. Think of it as the shift from infatuation to a more meaningful connection. Rather than seeing disillusionment as a sign of trouble, look at it as an opportunity to strengthen your relationship in a way that's grounded and lasting. Challenges of the disillusionment stage. This phase can be a bit rough. No doubt about it. Issues that were once hidden are suddenly front and center. Here are some common challenges. Increased criticism. Now that you're seeing your partner's flaws, it's easy to get a little nitpicky. That quirky habit you used to laugh off, not so funny anymore. Questioning the relationship. You might start second-guessing whether this relationship is the one, especially if the transition from enchantment to disillusionment feels like a sudden crash. Defensiveness. When things get tense, it's easy to get defensive, which only makes things worse. Cue the escalation of arguments. Emotional withdrawal. When frustration builds up, it can feel tempting to emotionally check out instead of dealing with the issues head-on. How to navigate the disillusionment stage. So, how do you make it through this stage without losing your mind or your relationship? Here are some tips. 1. Shift expectations. Nobody's perfect, and that's okay. Let go of the fantasy that your partner needs to meet every expectation and embrace who they truly are. 2. Communicate openly. Be honest with your partner about how you're feeling, but avoid finger-pointing. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, share your concerns constructively. 3. Practice acceptance. Accept your partner's flaws. You've got them too. And understand that differences don't have to be deal breakers. 4. Resolve conflicts constructively. When arguments come up, focus on listening and finding common ground instead of trying to win. Healthy conflict resolution is key. 5. Reframe your mindset. Instead of seeing disillusionment as a bad thing, view it as a chance to grow together. This is your opportunity to build a relationship based on reality, not perfection. 6. Seek support if needed. If you're really struggling, don't hesitate to get help, whether it's through counseling, therapy, or even reading relationship books. Sometimes an outside perspective can make a world of difference. Reflection exercise. If you're currently in the disillusionment stage or have been through it before, take a moment to reflect on these questions. What are some differences or challenges you've noticed between you and your partner? How do you usually respond when conflict or criticism comes up in your relationship? Are there areas where you might be holding on to unrealistic expectations? How can you practice more acceptance of your partner's flaws and quirks? Thinking through these questions can help you approach this stage with a healthier, more constructive mindset. Moving forward, disillusionment isn't the end of love. It's the beginning of something deeper. As you move through this stage, you have the chance to build a more authentic, meaningful connection with your partner. It's in facing these realities that you can create a foundation of partnership, respect, and understanding. With the tools you're learning in this course, you'll be better prepared to handle the challenges of disillusionment and come out the other side with a stronger, more fulfilling relationship.